Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Feel Better Show. I really should make that the intro or something silly like that. Guys, I am Feel Better, the Podcast Mogul. Beside me, as always, is my tutelar friend, or my compadre of compadre, Aaron Talks Film. He is the pop culture expert. I'm getting my lingo messed up. It's hot. It's hot here in Montreal. It's humid, really. It's humidity.
It's cooling down here. It feels a lot better in this office than it did last week when I was wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. And as you can tell, guys, it is pre-recorded again this week. For the next few weeks, it will be pre-recorded stuff going up, so we won't be able to answer your comments. But please do leave comments in it. We'll try and answer it the following weekend, whatever. But due to personal situations, mine, because I'm so friggin' busy and I have too many podcasts, I'm busy at that time, so I'm handling some stuff. So for the next foreseeable future, we're going to be doing pre-recorded stuff. But Aaron, we're going to jump into what's new with you. Sorry, I'm taking all this time talking, yapping, being a chatty Cathy over here, and you're just like, I'm supposed to talk now. What's going on, Aaron? Tell us what's up. What's up?
I honestly don't know why I'm here, Phil. To be honest, you could do this all by yourself.
The reason you're here is because you handle the news so that I don't have to, so I can handle growing the podcast. That's fair. I'm just you help me create content.
I do the bare minimum, and that's honest truth. I do the bare minimum. Nothing really new this week. I went through Netflix to try and find something to watch the other day, just in the background. I think I've said before, I kind of put stuff on in the background during the day whilst I'm doing housework and stuff. But instead of picking a movie, I decided to watch How I Met Your Mother, because I adore that show, and I've not watched it in like a year. And I think we spoke
only
about
a year, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's only been a year that he hasn't watched it.
Well, it's one of those shows that rolls. You know, I watch it very regularly, and it's one of those shows that every time you watch it, you see something new. Like every time you watch it, there's different stuff in the background to pick out, and lots you can get out of a show like that. So yeah, I started watching that again this week, and everything else has just been put in the background because I'm so obsessed with this show again.
Well, hopefully, that kind of segues somewhat into the a little announcement that I want to make here. Pardon me, because of the craziness of my life and the busyness with my other podcasts, and then I'm asking the viewers' help, and obviously friends and family as well. We need to come up with content for the Feel Better Show that me and Aaron, because Aaron's a stay-at-home dad, so he has his kids he has to take care of. I'm trying to run a business, so we want to try and maximize our time together. So I created a form because forms are something I'm really good at making. Getting info is easy. It's going to be in the first link, like literally in the show notes, first link. It's a form that where you can suggest a movie, a trailer, if you will, director, actor, actress, and if you want to be a guest or if you want to have a shout out, you can leave your information there and we'll shout you out and tag you obviously in the episode. But what this will do for us to make our lives easier is you guys give us a movie. That movie can be then me and Aaron on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon or Sunday night for him, depending because of the time difference, because he lives in Britain, I live in Canada. It's different. But we can batch out 4 trailer reactions to the upcoming week so that we have content that we can put out. And then on the weekend when we record, we come back live. We can do those episodes or we can record them live with you guys, depending on. But we need content. Coming up with ideas every week is a little difficult because we're both tired. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting that link in the show notes. I'm talking, I know. We're going to be dropping them in all the groups and all that, but we really need your help to make this show better and bigger. And if you want to be a guest, that's the best way to get on to be a guest. So anyways, Aaron, let's get into why you're here. We're talking news. The biggest movie, pretty much that I think everybody's pretty much excited for, Shang-Chi has dropped. That movie has been released. It's probably going to be amazing. I'm probably seeing it. I probably saw it last night or whenever this went, sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours. But Spidey is talking, and the Spidey sense is tingling about a runtime.
Yeah, I can't believe I even said to you before we recorded that I forgot that Shang-Chi was out this week. Not because I don't want to see it. I apologise. Do you want to edit that?
No, let's go.
But because everything so far is solely focused on Spider-Man, I completely blanked Shang-Chi. But yeah, Spider-Man, it's only a small piece of news. It's just the runtime that's been revealed. But it's 150 minutes. So that is a 2.5 hour movie. Now, some people might think that's too long. I don't think it's long enough for all the stuff that they need to cram into this movie. And from the trailer that we watched last week and we reacted to and reviewed it, that all the stuff in that trailer, I can imagine only is the first maybe half an hour to an hour of that movie.
More than likely, yeah.
But that's a lot of stuff, and there's so much more stuff that can happen in this movie. I don't think 2.5 hours is long enough.
So continue.
No, that was it. I just think sometimes movies that long can drag a little bit, but for this movie that everyone's excited about and the amount of content that's going to be in that movie, we need more than 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah. So here's my thing. I've been paying attention to the Disney Marvel movie shows coming out, and a lot of things are similar. And I'm watching a lot of theory stuff because I'm everywhere. A silly boy. I go deep when I like something. I go deep, and comics has always been something I love, but I just never had the time to go after it as much as I like. So this with. You had Captain America and the Winter Soldier, aka Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is amazing. But everybody pretty much assumed, and I know the show was more for the deep-hearted fan, like the hardcore Marvel fan, and it doesn't really impact the movie-going person, because you have the everyday who watches the big events, like who read the comic book only Civil War because it was a big event, doesn't know all the side stories. But that's what Marvel is kind of doing right now or Disney's doing. It's like, look, we're taking the comic books, we're making them into movies and TV shows. So like we have this parallel. So you have here, sometimes we're only going to have big blockbuster events here, like Spider-Man, No Way Home. Spider-Man, it would be too expensive to have a TV show. But you could have something with Loki. Loki wouldn't be that expensive because you can have this fun mystical thing. Where Spider-Man, it's Tom Holland, getting him to contractually do 6 episodes. It could take a lot of time, whereas a movie's a little more beneficial. So you have these things, but you can always have the villains can have a TV show, or like some of the side characters, and see which side characters are deemed worthy enough to go to the big leagues, which is the movie verse, right? But even the TV shows are movie quality now. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's like a 4-hour movie watching for
series. And it's amazing. So like I think we're gonna stop seeing this difference between movies and TVs, and we're just gonna have this blend of docu movies now, where they all just flow into each other. Not all movies and not all universes. We still have movies, but we're going to love those ones where it's a shared universe, where like the stories can branch off and we can learn more and we get the whole world kind of mapped out for us. I think that's going to be happening, kind of like what happens in literature. Like you have all these spanning. Anyways, you had WandaVision, which kind of wasn't necessarily needed because people knew she was going to be showing up in Doctor Strange, right? Everybody's listening to
that set the tone for what's coming, though, didn't it?
It did. It opened up the casual viewer to be like, oh, magic's going to be fucking crazy. And everybody who's in the Marvel universe, they're like, oh, it's okay because Doctor Strange has magic, so it's kind of understanding. And Scarlet Witch, she's a witch, okay, because it's going to probably be explained at the end of one of these Marvel movies coming out before Doctor Strange, right? But you start noticing things because you have Winter Soldier and the Falcon, aka Captain America, and you're like, okay, that's just regular. Then you have WandaVision. You're like, okay, that's an interesting. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how there was like this overlay, like they redid the ending of WandaVision, and you kind of saw something and was like, And then you're watching Loki, and at the end of Loki, there was like something similar to like that's when the change happened. But if you time stamped it, they happened nearly at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And so you start getting that sequel, and then you're like, okay. And then we noticed stuff that was similar to what happened in Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, pretty much, because it's a duo effect, probably. You know, Doctor Strange meets Spider-Man. And you have this moment that's kind of like at a singular moment that looked exactly like what was going on in Loki, which kind of looked like what was happening in Scarlet Witch. So you're like, okay, all of these events are happening at the exact same moment. So it's kind of like they're showing us a nexus point this is when the multiverse happened. So like when we look back on it in 10 years, we can say, that's the starting point of this event. So now we can connect things. And this, I think, is what's going to allow Sony to flourish and create their own Spider-Man universe. And if Sony is smart, they'll allow Disney to use Spider-Man, Tom Holland, whenever they want, because they can create a villainous ecosystem over here that's a timeline or a multiverse of the Disney multiverse. Like, that's the smart play for Sony to be, we're a multiverse over here, and like, so it doesn't really impact the actual cinematic or Disney's Marvel universe that they want to play in, because they can say, well, you know what, we had this contract, we go over to Sony, we're like, hey, let's make a movie with Venom in the Marvel universe, where we tone down Venom, because Venom comes in and he's more, because it's more PG-13-esque movies versus the R-ratedness that Venom deserves, right? So Venom gets tuned down, or we can create our own Venom and our own Carnage if we want, and it doesn't disturb the Sony, and we just put Sony, also in production with Sony, and Sony gets like 5-10% or whatever, and that way you satisfy the fans, everybody gets money, and the hardcore fans are kind of like, like that's not really Carnage, but you get the Carnage you want with Sony, and it just boosts Sony because they start getting their ecosystem money there. That's what I'm thinking of. It's just it's logic that way for me. But anyway, this is going to be insane.
Yeah, with this whole multiverse opening up, we already know that the Venom and that whole Sony universe is its own thing. We already know that. They've already come out and said that. The movie that does not get spoken about at the moment, Morbius.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
All I want to say is, if you go back and watch that trailer, there is a picture of, I believe it's
Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the background. So that's that universe. And with Disney now opening up that multiverse, they can say, well, all those Sony villains, like you just said, they're in their own universe, and if they need to bring them backwards and forwards, they can do that. It's pretty simple, just have Tom Hardy turn up in a post-credit scene of No Way Home. That's all you need to do.
There we go. All right, let's move on to the next question, because we do need to roll along here. We have I'm kind of really excited for this, but I'm kind of confused as well. We have Stallone coming back for being an Expendable 4, but it's the casting that I'm interested in. What do you make of this cast? Let us know who's joining this cast.
Well, I've not watched any Expendables movies. I've still not. I can't. I want to. They're all there. They're on like every single streaming service. They're just pushing it out there because they want people to watch it. I don't know if I've got the energy for those at the moment. I've not heard good things, but Expendables 4 is happening. I didn't even know Expendables 3 did that well. Obviously it did, because they're making another sequel. But like you said, it's more about the casting. 50 Cent, I can see that. He
fits in there. He can be that urban, gangster, or not urban, but he was. I watched him in Den of Thieves recently, and he is actually a good actor. A little difficult to understand him.
He's got a lot better. But if you look back to his early roles, especially that movie Get Rich or Die Trying, he did struggle through that. But he's getting better as an actor, and he's a good kind of fit for this, because we already know he's got street cred. Megan Fox, again, very left field, but her last movie, she was some kind of soldier. I didn't see it. It's the thing with the rabid lion. I saw. And look, it's okay. I don't want to say she's eye candy, because she is actually not a bad actress. She is quite capable when she has like not heavy dialogue. Like, this is probably a movie that's going to suit her.
she's not the world's greatest actress. She's a great actress with like. I'm not going to see her in a Shakespeare movie. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you.
But seeing her in this, she gets to be badass. She gets to be sexy, badass. Be a positive role model. Like she's going to be a positive role model to young girls everywhere. Because like, hey, even sexy girls can be badass, and you can be badass as well. Now, who's the next one? I'm kind of really excited for because he's just a badass.
Tony Jaa. Yes. The at the moment epitome of
the Protector. He's an amazing Muay Thai. It was thanks to him and the UFC together that Muay Thai became so popular.
Yeah, he's killing it at the moment in that genre. I'm not even sure what genre to call it. It's not really the sort of movies that I watch, but I know of him and I've seen clips and I know how good he is. And yeah, with everything that
he's the new Jackie Chan kind of thing. It's like the next generation of Jackie Chan, Jet Li type wrestler.
Jet Li, yeah, I was going to say Jet Li because was he in an Expendables movie? I think
he is in the Expendable movies.
Yeah, so yeah, again, because I haven't seen the Expendables, I know what they are, I know who they're for. So adding someone like Tony Jaa is just it's synergy, isn't it? It's a sort of actor and character that you want with these sort of movies. So yeah, maybe it's time I sit down and watch them. I don't know.
I highly suggest you. It is. Do not think because it's not a thinking movie. This is a simple movie that you just enjoy, like boom, explosions and badassery from the 80s, pretty much.
Yeah, I put it in the same sort of ilk as Fast and Furious. That
yes,
kind of
it
thing,
100%. It is a Fast and it's not Cars, but it's just it makes no sense at points. You're like, really? And they poke fun at the fact because you have the legend that is Chuck Norris in it, and you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Bruce Willis at a moment all in the same movie. But moving on to this generation, Stallone, like that segue, right? Yeah, baby, getting better at this.
Awesome.
There is someone's cruising down a jungle for a second time. You want to tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll wrap up the show. Yeah,
I'm super excited about this. I think we've mentioned it 2 or 3 times just how good Jungle Cruise is. Go and watch it. Anyone that's listening that has not watched it, it is a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Oh, yeah. It's not an Oscar-winning movie by any stretch, but it's good fun. It's great, and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to jump in. But it feels like it's like I remember watching like Disney movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And they're being like, oh my God, this is amazing. But watching back to those movies, they're kind of like, wow, this is boring as all hell. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of like, this gives me the same sense, but gives me more action and more like, wow, they actually put it in. Because like, The Rock's boat is kind of like silly looking. Like if you look, that's not a real boat. But it's like something that I would have watched when I was a kid. Back in like the early 90s, I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like the Swiss Family Robinson.
It's like Mickey Mouse's boat in that first black and white cartoon. Yes. Is it Tugboat Willie?
Tugboat Willie, yeah.
It's that. This movie is a live action Disney movie, but it is also, like you say, that kind of nostalgic feel, and it is a live action version of something that we'd watch as a cartoon when we were children. But yeah, Dwayne Johnson, absolutely incredible in this. So's Emily Blunt. And yeah, it's only right they're going to make a sequel. That is the news. They are going to make a sequel.
With the director, Jermaine Colette Serra going back as well.
Yeah, is Jaume?
Jaume. Sorry, I cannot pronounce it.
No, I can see it here. And I was looking at it today and I thought at some point one of us is going to have to say that.
Yeah, you're like, Phil's going to say it. And then I said it. Yeah. I bit the bullet. I'm looking for it. Like, I'm going to watch this because it was just pure fun. Like, Jack Whitenhall in it. He's amazingly funny. And it, like we said, we compared it to The Mummy, and it exactly is like The Mummy. Yes. The Rock is playing the Brendan Fraser type character, the brave badass. You have Emily Blunt playing Raquel Welch.
Yeah, the sort of plucky English lady
who's badass.
Adventure. Yeah,
and then you have Jack Whitenhall playing
her brother. Yeah,
her brother who's eccentric, who's like lovable goof, who's also can be a badass at times, and you get that through, and then you have the wacky cast of characters, the villain, and all that. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this after the final of the finish of the movie. So it's really exciting, and
it's one that I'm really looking forward to seeing in cinemas, because this is at least 2 or 3 years away. So hopefully by then, touch wood, cinemas will be open properly, and I can actually experience this. This is one that I want to experience in the cinema. I'm looking forward to it so much.
Same here. All right, Aaron. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen is where we can watch you on YouTube. Why don't you tell us where we can find you and all that fun stuff?
It is Aaron Talks Films across the board. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Letterboxd. Did I say YouTube? YouTube. Just go to any social media site and type in Aaron Talks Films, and you will find me. I'm there, just talking nonsense about movies.
There we go. And of course, I am the Podcast Mogul, Phil Better. Make sure you follow me on social media, just on Instagram, please, at Podcaster Phil Better. Follow the show at Phil Better Show on everywhere, on Instagram, social media, and all that. We're going to be ramping out content. It's coming. Just give us some time.
Yeah, Phil,
thank you so much.
Fill it in.
Yes, fill in that sheet so that we can get some content rolling for you and maybe get you on here on the show so we can review the movie with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Phil Better. He is Aaron Talks Film. This is the Phil Better Show. Remember to stay hydrated. You have to say your goodbye.
If I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.